Hello everyone, good morning. Hope you guys are alright. Um, I'm gonna do a quick stream because then I have mentorship sessions in a bit, so I'm gonna be a little bit more um, AFK, let's say, a little bit more absent today. Um, and I just want to set some alerts so that if it comes to a point of interest, which it has already came to on that alpha block that you guys are seeing there. If I see a nice reaction, uh, which I'm not too convinced about yet, if I see a good reaction, I'm gonna think about taking a trade during this London session. I'll keep you guys updated on the Discord if I see something. Right now, we would have to change market structure, which we are not doing yet. And from what I've seen, um, it looks like we still might have another go. I'm not yet sure. Another go, I mean, to a little bit higher. Depends on if we are gonna get those stacked imbalances or not. But a change in market structure would be interesting, since we have a lot of reasons and a single print, for example, to go back down to. Shorting right now is not a bad idea. I cannot say that it's a bad idea because on these tops we already have divs. So it's kind of a okay trade for example to already do that. Let me just do a little update here. However, yeah, I'm not too convinced yet that I can that we can take the trade. Maybe I'm just being overly cautious. But yeah, I don't know. That being said, we do have a lot of short orders right at this top, which also leads me to makes me think that price does want to go for another high, maybe another attempt. We'll see. In any case, I'm gonna do my checklist with you guys. Usual checklist. Let's go over liquidation levels, what happened yesterday. And right now, the interesting part is this. The most interesting part is this, I would say. When we came up to this 70, 71, 200 level, and we did this considerable correction. This was almost $2,000. When we did this, if you had drawn a TR pocket from the top to the correction, not only you could have been given a hint on this high over here, as well as this crazy correction that we just did, aligning kind of perfect to that middle of the 1 hour FVG there. We also had a single print, so we filled that up. And essentially now we are returning possibly to the 618 level, which would take us to 72,200. There's also a high block liquidation level, or it was there yesterday. We're gonna check it out if it had changed or not. But possibly we might retrace now a little bit. We're gonna see if there are new liquidation levels down here to take us there. And from there, if it is to continue, We'll try to find a good confluence level to take us to more upside. If we change market structure, London might be a good session for short continuations. Maybe until New York starts. And I'll mark out as we go. I'll mark out the 1 minute order blocks that we might create. I would not be surprised though if price wanted to come back to lower levels based on the reaction of this AFL block. So would not be surprised for price to... Sorry, PC is lagging a little bit. Would not be surprised for price to come back to this high block liquidation level at 68,150-ish. And after that, maybe have another go at the top. That is to say, if we are in a long-lasting range. But only time will tell, right? So right now, let's see, I'm gonna keep that. This was for yesterday. That job is done. I'm gonna keep this TR pocket though, because it has some nice alignments. That's the only reason, by the way. Yesterday during the Discord we did this trade live. Could have kept it all the way to this alpha block and it would have been a 12-hour trade. Pretty nice entry. This was a first attempt, so let me just delete some of this stuff just to clear my chart a little bit, and we'll go into the liquidation levels next. All of this is done now. Okay, you know, this alpha block has this reaction done as well. Okay. And if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna take the opportunity to do the graph I usually share with the community of the liquidation levels. I'm sorry, I know it takes a while. So we have one at 71,710. I would also mark out these. Maybe this one. To the downside. Oh, come on. Can I get that? Oh, what happened? I think I zoomed in accidentally. Let me refresh. Okay. So I need to take out some of them. This is okay. This is also okay. I can also leave that, I guess. Which one of them is out of place? Okay, this one. So I think, where's that high leverage one? Okay. I'm gonna delete the one that says high leverage because it has lower levels below. And let me just correct this a little bit so you guys can read better. That's it. What day is it today? 28. Okay, let me just share this to the community. And now let's update it on our chart. Ah, come on. Thank you. Um, 69 to 70. Good location with an order block. This is high leverage. $70.012. And below that, $68.115. Okay, I already got that one. 66.725. I don't have that one. 66.725. Where is that? Okay, this is probably not relevant. Probably not relevant. Or maybe it is in the sense that it can be a target, but probably not more than that, I would say. I need to hide everything else because it's making me confused. Wait. More. To the upside. 71,710. Okay, I have that. I don't have 71. Oops. 71,045. This is probably very newly created. More. Let me just take a look at here at EXO. Yeah, it really has to change from here. It's super hard to make a prediction right now if it's gonna break this or not. It certainly has reasons to, but I'm not too convinced yet. Would be nice if it clears this liquidity before going down, because if not, this will just be a nice liquidity curve to grab, which means no stop loss is safe on this region. Okay, where was I? 71,045, 71,710, okay, 72,181, this hasn't changed. 73,597, okay, this one is gone, but this is still there. 68,115, 67, change to 169, practically the same thing. And 66,725, 65,798, okay. Yeah, okay. I just don't have this one anymore. And then we have the 7-day heat maps. Probably need to update those, but I'm gonna leave it for now. And let me just take a look here. Sorry guys. Give me just a second. So, I am considering a possibility that will just need a little bit more time to be confirmed, but this can also be just an AMD, you know, where this would be your typical accumulation. And this can be a manipulation, this section, with this being a retrace back into it. And now in theory, this section can be a distribution or expansion, whatever you want to call it. This can also be, and if that's the case, then that liquidation level might be the best possible attempt at a continuation. It's on the 0.5 level. Yep, could be. Could be. Yeah, could be. We'll see. The only thing that I don't really love about this idea is that this is kind of a slow move. Although it did happen during Asia. When that happens, typically London will range and New York will be the expansion. Which is maybe starting to be true. London started right here, very close to the like the last final bump, right? So we might range from now for like a couple of hours or so. I guess only time will tell, right? But this liquidation level is on an interesting zone, and even the 50x is on an interesting zone. This might be like a trigger to have a reaction at, and then have a last leg attempt testing this block and high volume node. And maybe if we get a bullish divergence in between these two, and a market structure change, that might be a good signal for the continuation of the distribution idea. However, for example, at least on the 15 minute, let me see, was this an SFP? 68952, 68956. Yeah, so this was an SFP, which in theory makes it a good low to hold. That's not what I wanted to do. Let me see other exchanges like Bybit, for example. Yeah, okay. It was pretty clear on Bybit this was a nice SFP. Okay, that's good. That means that in theory, this is a nice low to hold, 69K, around 69K. That low has a nice potential to hold. If that's the case, we might have a continuation after a retracement. If we get a retracement, we might get a continuation upside. And like I said, at least 72,300-ish looks very probable, considering that we had a perfect reaction here and now a perfect reaction here. So it is true that generally on each reaction we do range on the 0.5, middle of the range, right? Makes total sense. It's the middle of the range. But eventually each side of the TR pocket is very likely to be hit, and that's the only one that is missing. Plus, if this is a power of 3, and if it's just a larger high time frame continuation, like really high time frame, right? If this is a high time frame continuation, it makes sense to continue up. Also considering that if you see the zones where we have been having a higher tendency to range, which I would say maybe lock into the body of these candles, maybe something like this. This looks like it's holding as a support area. Let me see, maybe the daily is probably too much. Yeah, maybe the 8-hour. Let's see, for example, a zone that has a lot of wicks. Like so. Okay, was support resistance? Was support? Was resistance then? And yeah, this can be support once again, right? Below that, I would say the area between this and that also has some reactions, like here, here, and then here. And this was kind of like a struggle area. So it wouldn't be crazy to go down anyway. But I think that if we are to go down, this looks a lot more bearish. One thing that I should say once again is that I think I can see this as 1, 2, 3, and this could be 1, 2, and it looks like we need another, right? So yeah, I guess time will tell. We're in a hard place to open positions right now, I would say. This zone is a little bit hard to decide where price is going to. That's why I'm not rushing into a trade right now. So yeah, we need to see something really different than what we have now. This range is really complicated to decide on a trade. Let me see several time frames to see if we have either gaps or blocks. Okay, we have a 1 hour gap untested. Another one here. Let me mark these out as being 1 hour. Let's see the 4 hour. The 4 hour only has one, aligning with the 1 hour. But that would mean this candle has to close, which it hasn't yet. 2 hours left. This doesn't look like a bad block. $15-minute. And I'm not too crazy about this one just because of this little curve. These ascending highs looks more like a liquidity, an easy liquidity to grab. This guy being super recent, maybe it's not gonna get grabbed right now. Yeah. If we go down slow, this area looks like a proper area for a reversal. I'm gonna be watching it pretty close. And I guess that's it. The thing is, where's that block? This alpha block is doing its job, but the reaction is really slow. If it starts really going down, I see I didn't even test that fair value gap there. Let's see on other exchanges. No. Okay. So this is still an unused order block. Oh, sorry. Why am I charting here? This is still an unused fair value gap. Oops, this one. And this is still an untested, unmitigated order block. So I wouldn't be surprised for price to still go here. And I think, where did I saw that? Yeah, we have a stacked imbalance at 79.10. Okay. There are no fair value gaps yet to the downside. And it's a little bit weird that it front runs this gap. So I wouldn't be surprised that during a market manipulation time it comes back to this and only then starts going down. There were, if I'm not mistaken, unless they were taken out, no, they're still there. There are 225 limit shorts at 79.95. Which is essentially the top. So someone is expecting an SFP. We do already have divs though. Yep. Now, notice how it is struggling to even go below this. And even if it changes market structure, this area is still a possible area for a retrace anyway. Let's see what happens. I'll be interested in this high block liquidation level. Considering that if we just blast through it, I'm leaning a bit more bearish, excluding the power of 3 idea, because overall, if this is not a 3 level rise movement to go to this high block liquidation level, then it's most likely going to be a big move to the downside. But yeah, I would prefer seeing another push higher, at least to that 72,181 high block liquidation level. Now let's see on high block if we have single prints or naked points of control. Previous day VWAP ended there, so not anything significant. That area that I was seeing for the liquidation level, I think, has some stacked imbalances there as well. Let me see. This is a strong one, 69,741. That's around here. Okay. Single print 70220. Yeah, this area looks interesting. Daily open might be also relevant today. The daily open is at, let me see on exchange, on the exchange. Okay, I'm gonna mark the daily open because I think it might be relevant this time. $69,532.7. We also have the view up there. This area is interesting, yeah. Either the view up or the daily open, they're both interesting. For me to draw Fibonacci, I would probably draw it from here. And I mean, any of these levels are on interesting places, right? The single print is just a magnet, so I wouldn't use it as a entry for now. This liquidation level is basically a magnet as well, and I would say this area as a supply can work for support. If it doesn't, the daily open and this fair value gap followed by an order block that right here is also interesting. If we draw Fibonacci right from the bottom, then this area becomes more interesting in terms of the 618, the golden pocket. And this area loses a little bit more interest. However, wouldn't really be surprised if it was where it retraced to and continued. So maybe I'm gonna keep it like this. Let me see TR pocket from the low to the bottom. Okay. Yeah, I would be maybe I think I would be a little bit more inclined to just one last push, last touch of that high. Trigger the Binance shorts, have a div, only then start coming down. Retrace back to somewhere around these levels. The high block liquidation level, the 100x, or the 618, which has the 15-minute order block. I think those are probably the best places to look for a long. Looking at the volume profile, yeah, it's this area that has the highest volume node. I should mark that guy out. This guy has the highest volume node. But this is also another one or two stacked together. I would say. The two biggest ones are here and there. But here, this is just a curve. I wouldn't bet on it. Here is not as tricky except for these lows. I just don't like those lows over there. So let's see. Anyway, this area, like this section of price, looks kind of hard to decide on a trade. I would stay out of it. just not seeing anything too convincing, at least for now. So let's see. I give it a little bit more time, and see what happens after that. Another TR pocket to consider is this one. And this one is a little bit more interesting because it has a perfect confluence with the liquidation level there. And it's where we are reacting now, aligned with the alpha block. I just don't like using it as much because it's not the end of the move. Generally, I like to do TR pockets from the end of the move to its nearest correction, which is not the case right here. But it does align with some interesting levels, right? I think that's it, guys. Essentially, TLDR, let's say, on one of these zones, wait for something like this with a divergence to get an entry, and I would say wait for it after you see a touch on the 1 minute, wait for it on the 1 minute. That should be good enough for an entry, considering the high confluence zones. If you don't see that, and instead, for example, if we have another go at this high and at it we do something like this, then I would look more into a short. But right now, I prefer to sit this one out, at least for a while. Macro-wise, it looks like this is one push and this is another push. So I really wouldn't be surprised to have another go. And it's interesting the confluences that we have currently to get real close to the all-time high. Although this move is really bearish, right? But it can just be a manipulation. We were creating a lot of liquidity here. This is a lot of liquidity stacked together, so this can be manipulation turned into a bigger move up. Totally viable, totally possible. Would not be surprised at all, especially considering that, don't forget that on the 4 hour, I think it was a 4 hour, we basically stopped dropping. We basically stopped dropping exactly at the 50% of this 4 hour fair value gap, which also was a single print, by the way. Right, we cleared the single prints. So yeah, this is bullish overall. You know, even after the drop, considering how we are reacting, I would say this is more bullish than bearish locally. Okay. So the bias, I think the bias should be for a long. So, guys, I'm already 10 minutes late. I'll talk to you later. I'll be on Discord later. Right now, I have a mentorship session, but I'll join you guys on Discord later if you guys wanna, you know, pop by. Yeah, pop up, whatever. If you guys wanna come on and say hello, you know. See you guys later. Have a nice day, man.